31st of July, our government released the 13th Malaysia Plan, which will span from 2026 to 2030. So it's something a lot of Asian countries like to do. China has it as well. We have like 5-year blocks for tracking our progress. So yeah, walk us through some of the big picture targets that they have.
So obviously they have a big goal. However, if you actually track their previous 12 Malaysia Plan, right? Some of the targets didn't really quite met.
Okay, like what? Like, of course you cannot say all, but
sure. So one of the key one, which is obviously the fiscal deficit. Previously they target about 3.2 to 3.5% for 2025. But if you look at our 2025 figure, right, it's actually right now about 3.8% to 4% ish.
Okay, slightly above.
Yeah. Slightly above. Didn't really meet. But yeah, not only just that, there's also other kind of like stuff. For instance, like maybe the education side of things, healthcare. You see, our healthcare also, we still have like a lot of complaints, even though there's like money being poured, right? So but this is still a good target for the government to set. At least they know that there is something that they need to achieve whatever things that they table in this plan. But there's a few key things that is also quite interesting, which we're going to be covering over here. So the first one, which is EPF. So the government did propose, they haven't really implemented this, but they say that they want to do a monthly withdrawal as an additional option versus a lump sum. Because previously, right, when you are 55 years and above, or you have like 1 million-ish in your money inside your EPF account, you can actually withdraw one lump sum, right? But right now, they are trying to propose to say that they didn't really say that they want to retire the lump sum, but they gave like an additional option, which is you can actually get it on a monthly basis. And
what benefit will the person get?
So basically,
will you get better interest? I don't know.
They didn't really share much about interest. It's just like a monthly breakdown. That's about it. So that actually caused a lot of like discussion and also uproar among the rakyat, because they thought that the lump sum option would be removed. They thought that we are
so it's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, correct. So they thought that we have to get like a monthly kind of like thing. So these are some of the comments that they say. One of the rakyat say we have worked hard for the money and these are our savings. So please don't do the monthly kind of like withdrawal thing and keep the lump sum thing. But it's still under proposal. So this is also another quite a big discussion that people had which is the monthly and also the lump sum withdrawal. But what do you think? If let's say Malaysia, our government decided to abolish the lump sum and just give out monthly.
Yeah, I think it will erode a lot of trust for sure. I mean, because this is what you were promised. If they really want to do that, what they should do is to give a grace period. So, look, we will implement this in, let's say, 5 years. Let's say you can make whatever decision you want, and then when year 5 comes around, then you can't do it anymore. A bit similar to the pension that people get from being a government servant, right? Last time you get very good benefits, and of course when Anwar came in, he decided he wanted to reduce it, but you cannot reduce it on the people who came under the old system.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, I think the reason also why they do like a monthly option versus a lump sum is because number one, they scared that the old folks will get scammed, so their entire savings will be gone. The second one is that they don't have like a proper financial planning. So when they take out one lump sum, right, then maybe they can only they use up all of their resources within like maybe 5 years or 7 years. These are the concerns that probably they have and why they actually
that is why they gave this like monthly withdrawal. It makes sense. It makes sense, but it's a rock and hard place.
Exactly. So this one is a interesting one, which is a monthly and also lump sum. What do you guys think about this one? Let us know in the comments. So the second one, which is a minimum wage. So they're going to be like expanding this minimum wage protection to cover fresh grads and also semi-skilled workers. And this also includes the TVET pathway. So if you guys didn't know, our minimum wage recently just increased about 1,700 from 1,500. And under the RMK-13, the benchmark of living wage is about 3,100 per month, which will be applied to employees in GLC and GLIC. So I think this is a good thing to not like exploit the fresh grads or interns. to not getting paid?
I actually have, honestly, I have the opposite view. I
Okay.
actually do not think that it is a radical view, but I actually don't think minimum wage is a very useful thing. You know, I tell people all you have to do, like, okay, so it says here, right, there's a living wage of 3,001.
Yep.
But you realize that different people, if you tell them, hey, 3,001, is it enough? You never get a uniform answer. This answer of living wage was probably done by some academic from one of the institutions to say, okay, based on this assumption, this is a living wage, right? But different people have different definitions, right? Because it's a very subjective thing. You know, if you see a maid from Indonesia, let's say, that come here to work, if you give her a 500 ringgit wage, she's so happy. She's just call mom and tell her, you know, I got this raise or whatever, right? But if you tell a urban Chinese educated, you get 500 ringgit wage, she's like, okay, cool, thanks, right? So first of all, it's very subjective. So there's no such thing as a living wage. The second thing about when you mention what's that, taking advantage, right? So the thing about the first thing in this discussion is, my assumption is that you are a valuable contributor.
Yep.
Right, to the economy. So you have a certain skill set that is good, and people will want your skill set. Okay.
Yep.
So in this sort of scenario, if a employer abuses you or like takes advantage of you, I can bet with you there's another employer out there willing to take you and willing to pay you what you're worth. You just have to find it. That's it. You know, today there's the internet. You can ask AI to do it for you and to find.
Yeah.
So this whole argument of taking advantage is not quite there. Now, of course, then the flip side is, or what if you don't have that kind of bargaining power, right? Where people find you for jobs. Well, the answer is there, right? You have not developed anything that people will fight over you.
Yep, exactly.
And so, in some cases, right, if let's say you don't show up to work on time, paying you 1,007 is overpaying, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to this, but I just want to make one final point. Okay, all you have to do and imagine if whether or not for jobs is to not stop at 3,001, to say let's have a minimum wage of 10,000 ringgit. Everybody gets 10,000 ringgit. That will solve everything, right? But my only promise is this: when we implement that, nobody or anyone who complains about inflation needs to go to jail once we increase to 10,000. Deal? Anyways, I'll let you guys think about that question.
Yeah, and also our government, which is Anwar, he said that we also need to ensure that the wage are reflected by both qualification and also the reality of living costs, not just the minimum.
So what Singapore does is they have this progressive wage model where it's based on different industries, and so I think that's a lot better. However, I think if you really want to fix abuse, you need to be upfront. So like what Malaysian pay gap is doing is very important. Right, because you need to show people this is your industry, you got this skill set, and you're being paid this. When peers are like that, then you can bring it there. And a lot of people don't know this. In Malaysia, if there are employer abusers, you can actually go to the industrial court to sue them. And in the industrial court, it sides with the employee 90% of the time. So you actually have quite a lot of rights as a Malaysian. You just have to find a lawyer, and they'll be there. So I'm always against the minimum wage because it never made sense. What if there's someone who is young, who's willing to work for
long hours, but for
like let's say I want to get experience, but the owner, maybe some are stingy, but a lot of businesses are zero margin, right? They're not making money or very thin, right? So they have to really pinch pennies. And sometimes they want help, right? But when you are fresh coming in, at the beginning it's a burden because I have to teach you, right? I could spend time growing the business, whatever, but I have to teach you now. So now, what does a minimum wage do? It imposes a cost, a penalty for me teaching you. So of course I won't want to do it, right? But if there is no minimum wage and people are willing to come in to work for low or free, then the person might be more willing to teach the person so that he can develop. The employer will be more willing to teach the employee so he can develop skills, which then could end up benefiting the company. But let's say if it doesn't matter because I didn't pay anything. But this person can go elsewhere now, take his skills, and then move on to the next level. But with the minimum wage, the employer, no. Bye-bye.
So that is the second point, which is minimum wage. The third one is affordable housing. So our government is obviously doing a lot of these rent-to-own scheme and also like cheap houses. But they also did emphasize this, which is that in order to reduce costs and also to improve the lead time in terms of delivery, a modern construction method such as like the IBS or industrialized building system will be adopted. So this IBS system, only the top three or the three largest contractor listed company in Malaysia is actually Gamuda, IGM, and also Sunway Construction. So most likely they will have in terms of the benefits in getting the contracts. That's also a reason why they are getting so much of these data center contracts, or at least they are focusing more on that. Is because the data center hyperscalers, they are all focusing more on companies that have this IBS system in place. So yeah, maybe you guys, if you want some ideas, you can actually like check out these three big companies. The fourth one, which is power. So there's actually a few things that they did mention. Two new things actually. Number one is nuclear. Number two is it's not really new, but it has been on discussion, which is hydrogen. So hydrogen is going to be more towards the East Malaysia side, which is Sarawak and Sabah. Nuclear, this one is only, they just brought it up. Just so that there's like some sort of like an alternative of renewable energy instead of just solar and also hydrogen, right? And they did mention that they want to increase the mix to be 35% by 2030, which is up from 29% currently. But yeah, nuclear, previously there is a lot of rejections or because of the potential side effects that they can bring in. Like the radioactive waste or whatsoever. But right now, it seems like our government is like looking at this again. Not only just Malaysia, actually. Most of the countries out there also, they are looking back at nuclear. So yeah, any comments you want to add for power?
I've always been a fan of nuclear, especially now with things heating up in the world. We need to be quite power independent, and I think we are to an extent. I'm not sure about this, but we need to be power independent, and what that means is also we need to be power diversified. We cannot rely just on fossil fuels, and we know nuclear is some of the cleanest energy, so that's in line with our whole green energy initiative. And there's one small advantage, could be big, that we have is Singapore. You see, because the fear for a nuclear power plant is that basically bad things happen, right? So whether it's like the Fukushima earthquake, so we don't get earthquakes, right? So we don't have that problem. But maybe a mishandling like Chernobyl in the Soviet Union. Now, Singapore definitely has the technology to do it, right? But you see, if they build a nuclear power plant in Singapore and there's a mess up, what happens? Then the entire country is gone.
Yeah.
Because it's a small place, right?
Yeah.
But let's say we build our nuclear power plant in some place in Johor or Kuantan or Pahang, places that are not heavily populated. Yes, there will be ecological disasters. There will be a national disaster, but hey, it's contained.
Yep. So it's like an additional source.
So we have that advantage,
Yep. It's quite
over Singapore. And when we do that, just like water, we may then begin to sell nuclear power to Singapore because they will need,
they need more electricity.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's a great opportunity, but as we know, politics, right?
Yeah. Okay. So some of the stocks that might be affected because of this power renewable energy initiative are as follows. You can see these are the solar EPCC guys, and then these are the construction guys, the big three. Because if let's say you are going to be building like a power plant for nuclear, right? Most likely they're going to be needing more of these big guys' expertise on how to build it. Definitely also we need more cables, to plug to the grid and everything. So these are the cable guys that will be benefiting, and also some of the wires that might need to go through underground. So the underground engineering solution providers like MN Holding, UUE, and Jati Tinggi might also be benefiting, assuming there is more contracts related to this nuclear or maybe even hydrogen is needed in Malaysia. Okay, the fifth one, which is water tariff. I think our government also recently just announced that there is a change or hike in terms of tariff. So your water bill is getting more expensive. We're also already experiencing in our own, rental unit. I think it's up like around 20 to 30% already. Yeah. So and also fun fact, this is actually by ChatGPT on approximately how much of water is being used in
Well,
a
guys,
household
no
of
more
4.
long showers.
Yeah, please
Do
don't.
what you need to do in 10 minutes, okay?
Yeah, definitely we are referring to singing, so don't sing
Yeah.
in shower for too long, all right? But anyhow,
Definitely.
yeah, definitely, yeah. But if you want to know what is the economics of like meter cube, right? It's actually 1,000 liters, and you actually can do your math on how to calculate like how much water you should be using. And also on top of that, we never mentioned, which is the data center guys, because they also will need water in order to cool the overheated place when the data center when the AI chip is being run inside the center. So more water is needed there. They also got imposed some sort of like special industrial rate specifically for like hyperscaler guys. So this is also something that MNCs need to look out for in terms of cost. Then as usual, these are some of the stocks that might be affected. The one that is going to be getting benefited directly is obviously PBA. They are related to Penang. So whenever you see like there's some sort of like Penang tariff revision, PBA's revenue and earnings might be benefiting from this. And also there's other players like your pipe manufacturers, your steel, your NRW. All these companies also might be benefiting, assuming like the water tariff is increasing. 6, which is health tax. So this one, we're going to be getting more tax from tobacco, vape, and also from alcohol. Not only just our sugary products, which was announced like previously. So this I think is a good addition to not have people to smoke more, vape more, and also to drink more alcohol. So the stocks will not be doing so well, probably will be Heineken, Carlsberg, BAT, and also Cape EMS. But Cape EMS
It will
is
become
more,
even more value play.
yeah. So Cape EMS probably not so like directly because they actually assemble the vape products and they ship it to the US. But yeah, so they are still one of the key like guys who actually is related to the vape lah. So yeah, might be affected because of sentiment. 7, which is the foreign workers. So another good thing is that we are trying to reduce our dependency on foreign workers to 10%. So right now it's about 15%. And on top of that, they are going to be doing some sort of multi-tier levy mechanism. And also there is EPF contribution from foreign worker. So that is actually to curb all those illegal workers from coming into Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah. And also obviously the cost will definitely be higher for some of these sectors because most of these sectors, they kind of like employ foreigners. So you have your plantation, construction, your EMS assembly, and also some of the retail shops also, they do hire foreigners. So yeah, I think this is good because it will encourage the employees to hire more local people. Yeah, so this is another initiative. Now, these are some of the other main points also that is talked there, but we're not going to be, talking about every single point. But just to share, one of it is actually digital and tech. This I think we have been talking for the longest time already, which is related to NSS, the National Semiconductor Strategy, as well as the recent investment, which is ARMS. So that one is related to your IC designer. Second one, which is generic medicine and also local pharma production. But the third one, which is quite interesting, 5-year-old must learn English. So this one is mandatory already in Malaysia. I don't know why they didn't impose this sooner. why they made it compulsory now? But it is better late than never lah, which is this point.
Well, I think very unfortunate. Of course, this is not representative of everyone, but there was a young guy in one of the kampong, right? When he got like 5 marks or 10 marks or 0, I think, for English, and he came out saying, I'm proud to get 0 because it's not the national language. So this sort of behavior needs to be attacked. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is not a racial thing because when the news came out, a lot of people from all different races are saying this guy is it's a silly boy,
Yeah. Okay. The fourth one, which is retirees can work.
Yeah, they're
again.
raising the minimum wage. The retirement rate.
Yeah, retirement age,
right, yeah.
and also they're trying to ask employees to actually rehire these retiree. So yeah, it's also another benefit if let's say those who want to work again, you have the chance to work. And last but not least, I think this is going to be a little bit tough, which is road to rail. So what does this mean is that if you notice those highways when you drive around, right, you notice that there's like lorries carrying big logs, or maybe even carrying like steels and whatsoever, steel rebar. So they want those items to actually be parked into train. So that number one, obviously it reduces traffic congestion. Number two is obviously it's very dangerous because what if the lock suddenly like came out from the lorry, right? That causes a lot of accident. So why is it hard to do this is because obviously cost is another thing. And the second thing, which is the delivery time. Because most of these companies, they want their items to deliver fast. So one of the fastest ways is obviously by through lorry from car lah. But at least it is a good initiative to actually put this in place. So that maybe if let's say they force them to do it, I think it is a good thing lah for us road users. But yeah, any thoughts about this road to rail?
I think it'll be very difficult
Yeah.
because we have a car culture.
Exactly.
But I do believe that in the KL city, we are already seeing some progress. So now it's time for the more satellite areas. So for example, your Monkiaras, your PJs, your TTDIs, places like that are affluent but outside KL to level up, and we should do this in a more gradual process. And it's also not just road to rail; it's also walkable. So we need to improve, especially in, Subang, PJ, all these areas. It really needs to improve. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so the final thoughts is obviously this plan is not for short term, it's going to be for long term plan. So if you see like any share price movement, right, I don't think it's going to have to do with this RMK-13 or our 13 Malaysia plan. For the long term, maybe only you can see it. The second one is obviously there will be a higher cost for manufacturing sectors, especially for the foreign workers. If let's say they restrict the amount of foreign laborers to work in your workforce, and also you increase the cost by actually implementing EPF contributions by them. Obviously, they will be incurring more costs, and also potentially their profit margins will be depressed. And the third point, which is a higher cost for rakyat. So this one is in terms of electricity costs, water tariff, and also I think sooner or later it's also going to be the RAW 95, but this one is more towards the T15. And also probably our necessity products also will be higher because of inflation and whatnot. So obviously, our cost of living will definitely be higher as we progress every single year. So the final thoughts is that the overall kind of like the 13 Malaysia plan, I think I personally give it like it's quite decent for
It's like a
education.
B.
Yeah, it's like a B. Actually, the rest is actually quite so-so. It's not really that of
B's and C's, yeah. Very Malaysia.
Yeah. But at least the good thing is education side, which is that they make it compulsory for the kids to obviously learn about science. And also the second thing is English must be compulsory. So at least there is some sort of like movement around this one. But yeah, so that's about it. And before you guys go, make
Next
sure
Monday.
Yeah, to join us in our free webinar. We're going to be talking about our top strategies to find multi-baggers for second half of 2025. We actually did spotted one and we profited
months,
about
right?
2x in 3 months. So if you want to see how we do it, you can join us on the next Monday, which is 11th of August, 8:30 p.m. And you can scan this QR code to register yourself a spot. And this is the FIRL Pro's July 2025's performance. So far, we've been doing pretty well. Our FIRL Pro Malaysia is about 34%. FIRL Pro Global, this one doubled from June. Last time it was about 6 to 7%. Right now it's 14% thanks to one stock that we have initiated during the April 2025's crash. And then the boring portfolio is just being very boring. I mean, it's about 3.19%. But if you want to see how we do our write-ups, our analysis on companies, how do we assess management, how do we identify the risks, what are the catalysts, and a lot of information that might not be available in publicly. You can get all of these insights inside FIRL Pro. And also we have a community which is in Telegram and Facebook where we answer your questions on a real-time basis. And also it's quite interactive because everybody is from different industries. So you also will be getting real insights on the industry like plastic packaging, healthcare, whatsoever inside there. And yeah, if you want to get a taste, you want to see how we do our write-ups, you want to see how we do our management notes, and also you want to have a look at one of our video which is inside SIB, you can check it out in the FIRL free sample. And also just to give you guys an example, we initiated DLiM over here, we bought it over here, and we sold it over here, which is almost approximately about like a double yeah, around double in just a few years time frame. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. See you guys next week.